Now, The Witcher 3 has had a next-gen update and it's had some absolutely glowing reviews and a fantastic response. And actually, our next guest is going to tell us a little bit more about that response as well. We've got the editor of Gaming Bible, Ewan Moore, on the show. How are you, Ewan? You good?
Yeah, hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good stuff. So this next gen update, I mean, we read your review and you've absolutely loved it. I mean, it's been a game that you've been obviously waiting to see be revamped and it's gone really, really well. So what is it about this next gen update that's taken The Witcher 3 to some new heights?
I mean, it was already pretty high up.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece. It's one of the best RPGs ever made. I think it's just a kind of refinement, and it's fixed a lot of the issues, the small issues that the original game did have, and
Yeah.
just tightened up a few things to just really. It's sort of a lot of small changes that really added up to create something even better. And I didn't think The Witcher 3 could be improved, but here we are. I mean, this is remarkable.
Absolutely, because I mean, are there any sort of like new elements in the visuals or the graphics that really stood out to you that you were like, oh wow, that's caught me off guard, that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, 60 frames per second is always a big deal,
Yeah.
especially if you're a console gamer, which I am. I know there are a lot of PC gamers out there who, they've been living that 60 FPS life for years now.
Yeah.
But being able to replay The Witcher 3 at 60 frames per second is quite something. And there's just sort of, again, lots of smaller changes that all add up, like increased foliage, like new little blades of grass and textures, and all these tiny little updates that have all come together to really make it look. I mean, really like it could be a new gen game in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. It's remarkable to look at.
Absolutely, because I mean, it actually has surpassed Elden Ring in terms of Metacritic score of 97, which is absolutely amazing for an open world RPG. I mean, were you surprised at that? Because obviously Elden Ring was everybody's game of the year, and which has just come in right at the end and been like, oh, just swooped the title. I mean, are you surprised? Because obviously Elden Ring did so well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I reviewed Elden Ring and I gave that a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's an incredible game.
it is. Yeah.
To see The Witcher sort of come in and almost steal his thunder a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not that surprised because, so many people are evangelical about The Witcher 3, and I think an excuse to rave about it again is not, it's not a shocker. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm one of the many people who were just ready to absolutely praise it to the hilt once again.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise.
Absolutely. I mean, did you expect it to be free? Because the fact it's free is an absolute godsend. I mean, that's amazing. Did you think you might be a paid sort of like upgrade, or do you think, or did you always know it was going to be kind of free?
Well, I mean, CD projects have always been very consumer friendly anyway. I mean, you sort of leaving Cyberpunk's launch to one side.
Yeah.
They've always been very good about sort of free DLC and consistent updates for things. So when they said they were releasing this as a free update, I was expecting it to be fairly substantial. But this is, I think, it's fair to say, the most substantial new gen upgrade that isn't like a full on remaster that we've had.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think it does as much, if not more, than the Grand Theft Auto 5 update, which, Rockstar Games charged money for.
Yes.
So, I mean, I feel slightly bad that it's free, but, I'll
It's
take
so
it.
good. Yeah, do you think this could bring in some new fans to The Witcher as well? Do you think, like, for people that maybe never played the games before, like, and they think, oh, I'm just going to jump into The Witcher 3, do you think that it could bring in some new fans, possibly?
Well, I'll definitely be interested to see if that's the case.
Yeah.
I think, especially with the success of the Netflix show, we could see a sort of bigger boost in people coming to the game after all this time. I do think that if you didn't like the game before, it hasn't done enough to win you over.
Yeah.
Things like combat, which I think is quite a point of contention for a lot of the game's critics.
Yeah.
That's been smoothed out a little bit, but it's not completely different. Its core, it's still the same game.
Yeah. So for The Witcher 4 then, what would you like to see kind of improved in the next game? Because obviously we've had some teasers for Witcher 4 kind of coming out, little leaks and things like that. What would you like to see in the next Witcher game?
Well, I think I'm joining a lot of people in saying that I want Ciri to be the protagonist of the
Yeah.
next game. You know, Geralt's great, but he's had his time. I think there's a lot of really interesting ways you could go with Ciri, and I just think more of the same, but bigger. Just I think they've got a real chance to make something really special here. If you look at how The Witcher 2 built on the first Witcher and how The Witcher 3 built on The Witcher 2, you know, using Unreal Engine 5 and all these years of experience from The Witcher 3 and, you know,
Mm.
learning lessons from Cyberpunk 2077 and what went wrong there, I think The Witcher 4 has the potential to be something really, really special.
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone's very much anticipating it as well, and I'm sure people have got a lot of similar opinions to you as well, what they want to see in the game as well. But actually, hopping back to The Witcher 1 and that remake, what did you think about that remake? Did that resonate with you quite well?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, I'm I'm one of the many, many Witcher fans that only really came to the series with The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So my knowledge of those first two games is very limited, but I know from what I've seen that the first Witcher game is particularly it's very much a product of the time. It's not aged very well.
Yeah.
So there are so
Yeah.
many ways that I think we could get a fantastic remake there. Like, you know, something on the level of 2019's Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. And it's interesting to see as well, like what you said about the entry point there as well. You came in at the third one. So it's kind of a good entry point for people to kind of come into the series as well. I mean, have you watched the TV show at all as well?
Yes, I mean, I've got to admit, I'm not great when it comes to gore in TV
Oh,
shows,
yeah.
which it's quite a grim show. But yeah, I got through it, and I've read through the novels subsequently, so I'm a much bigger fan of The Witcher now than I was when I came to The Witcher 3.
Absolutely. I think when you get stuck into the lore of the books and things like that, it just adds to the whole storyline, doesn't it, and everything, and you get like really immersed in it. So that's great. Well, Ewan, thank you so much for joining us on the show. And yeah, I mean, go and read Ewan's review because if anything's going to make you play it, is definitely what Ewan's written, and he's spot on as well because it does look fantastic. So Ewan, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day as well. And hopefully we'll catch you very soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much. Cheers.